en página 245, we'll look at ejercicio 15. So this is what we were working on yesterday. The direct object pronouns lo, la, los, and las. And then, like I said, I know it's a pretty deep subject. It's pretty, but simple once you figure it out. So let's look at ejercicio 15. Ejercicio 15. Entonces, contesta con el pronombre apropiado, que es un pronombre, pronoun. So answer or contest with the appropriate pronoun. So just going down and looking at number 1. So what is the question? ¿Tienes tus botas nuevas? So the verb tener is to have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is asking, do you have your botas? ¿Qué son botas?
Boots.
Yeah. So botas nuevas? New boots. You can go ahead and just stay live, Sydney. I think we're good unless you got a lot of background noise or something. There's only 2 of us. It only starts getting ugly when someone has a lot of bad background noise or if there's a bunch of little kids in the background or something. Okay, so instead of saying, do you have your new boots, I want to say, do you have them? So what would I replace botas nuevas with? And where would the botas son masculinas o femeninas?
Feminine.
Sí. ¿Y plural o singular?
Plural.
Plural, sí. And so which one of those are we going to replace boots with? Lo, las. So we've already discounted one, right? So las, right? And so where are we going to put it now? How are we going to rewrite this sentence? If we'll look on the Google Doc, if you guys join me there.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get to that. So I'll write the first one. Okay. So where would I put las? They always go directly before the verb. Okay. So to rewrite this question, I would say, ¿las tienes? ¿Las tienes? Do you have them? ¿Las tienes? And so, tus botas nuevas. What's tus?
Your.
Mm-hmm. So them replaces all 3 of those words. Your new boots, or your boots new. So them replaces the whole thing, just like it would in English. I say, do you have your new pencils? Yeah, I have them. Okay, them. So it replaces all 3, both the adjective, the possessive adjective, the adjective new, and the noun itself. So it's pretty amazing that we can replace all that with one small word. Okay, so you guys go ahead. Sydney, go ahead and take 2. And then Addie, go ahead and take 3. And I'll try to contact Emma. Okay, so no communication with Emma. Addie, you want to communicate with her and see if not having any luck at all. La tienes. Lo tienes. Muy bien. Lo tienes. Fine, perfecto. So now go ahead and do Sydney 4, Addie 5. I put the proper quote, question mark and exclamation mark because I know I set a bad precedent in doing that. Fix that. Copy. There we go. Monkey. There we go. Okay, número 4. Los tienes muy bien. And 5. Those cámara nueva, número 5, Abby. So instead of los, it should be
Oh, las.
just la because it's singular, see?
Is
La-
it?
Yeah, because it's tu cámara nueva.
Oh, I was looking at tienes.
Yeah. Muy bien. Muy bien. Cool. And then the last one would be what? Móvil nuevo.
Lo.
Lo. So lo tienes. Muy bien. Muy bien. Perfecto. Okay. So now let's bump up to exercise 14, and you guys will take turn asking each other. Okay. So, following the example. So you ask if so. First one, I would ask you, ¿Tienes los anteojos de sol? Do you have your sunglasses? And you'd say, yes, I have them. I bought them yesterday. We can change up the verbs so it doesn't get so boring. So we'll just do a couple of them. So Sydney, you go ahead and ask Addie about number 2, and then she'll respond. And then the next one, Addie, you ask first, and Sydney responds.
Okay. Tienes el boleto.
Si tengo. Wait, si lo tengo.
Lo compré ayer. So yours follows the example, right? It's exactly what the example is there. Sí, lo tengo. Lo compré ayer. Now go ahead and Addie, you ask.
Okay. ¿Tienes la toalla?
Sí. La tengo.
Muy bien.
La compré ayer.
Muy bien. Sí, la tengo. La compré ayer. So all you're doing is changing that there. How about skipping down and doing number 6? Sydney, go ahead and ask Addie.
Okay. Tienes los guantes.
Sí, los tengo. Los compré ayer.
Muy bien. And Addie, go ahead and do 5 to Sydney.
Tienes. Oh, wait. Tienes las botas?
Sí, las tengo, las compré ayer.
Compré ayer. Muy bien. Las compré ayer. Okay, so let's skip down to ejercicio 16. Okay, so if you look at the title there, it says rompecabezas. Rompecabezas. Can you figure out what rompecabezas is?
Something to do with head.
Okay.
Puzzle?
Puzzles. Yeah, it's puzzles. But they say rompecabezas, head breakers. Okay. Romper is to break. And so rompecabezas are head breakers. So let's see. La usas cuando sacas fotos. Okay. What does that sentence say?
What do wait?
No es pregunta, no es pregunta. So, la usas cuando sacas fotos. Okay, what's la? It's
Is it you use it
Uh-huh. You use it
to take photos?
when you take photos. When you take photos. Okay. So if it were to take, it would say sacar, right? So it's you use it when you take photos. Okay. So what is la there?
Camera?
Well, but right, exactly. But what does it mean in English? It's it, right? La, you use it, and the
Yeah.
it la usas cuando sacas fotos. Muy bien. Okay. Addie, número 2.
La usas después de nadar. You use it after you swim.
Or after swimming. Because here, remember to use the ing form of the noun, like swimming is nadar, or bike is andar en bicicleta. Okay, so you use it after swimming.
La toalla.
La toalla, muy bien. Sydney, 3.
La necesitas cuando practicas el surfing. You need to practice surfing?
You need it. Okay, so la necesitas. You need it. Cuando, when you surf. Practicas el surfing is surfing, right?
Yeah.
So, ¿qué necesitas?
Tabla hawaiana.
La tabla hawaiana. Hawaiana. Okay. Hawaiana. Muy bien. Y número 4. Abby?
Lo alquilas. What's alquilas?
To rent.
Okay.
Alquilar or rentar. To rent.
Lo alquilas para esquiar en el agua. So you rent it, or it's something you rent for skiing.
You rent it in order to water ski. You could a couple different answers here. So what components might you rent? So if you don't own a boat, you might need to rent one, right?
Yeah. How do you say boat?
Un barquito.
Barquito.
Or barco. Barco usually means bigger. So for water skiing, you rent a barquito, a smaller boat.
Un barquito.
Okay. Or you could say un esquí acuático, right? If you don't have, you might have a boat, but you may not have a water ski. You rent a water. So, but most places that used to rent water skis are now out of business. We used to rent different things from Sports Authority or sports. My daughter worked at, and I can't even think of the name of it. Sports Chalet. Yeah. So, but all those places have gone out of business. So, not as easy to rent anymore. Okay. And cinco, Sydney?
Number 5. I mean 6. Or 5.
Cinco.
Yeah, okay. Lo tomas para subir la montaña.
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 You take it.
You take it to climb the mountain.
Go up. Not necessarily climb, but to go up the mountain.
Okay.
And of course, it's thinking more specifically in this chapter, right? Winter sports. So what would it be?
The chairlift. How do you say that again?
El telesilla.
El telesilla. Telesilla. Yeah, okay.
El telesilla. Muy bien. Perfecto. ¿Y Adi 6?
La llevas cuando hace frío. You take it when it's cold, or
You wear it. When llevar is referring to clothing, it means to wear. Because it is also to take. Llevar is also to, just like tomar is to drink and eat and to take. So yeah.
would it just be la chaqueta?
La chaqueta, el anorak. Yeah, because it doesn't say when you're freezing cold or when you go to the mountains. It doesn't necessarily have to be a ski jacket or anything like that, because just when you're cold. Or you could say un suéter, see? Un suéter. But have we done el suéter?
I don't think so.
Okay. 7, Sydney?
Okay. Lo debes comprar si quieres tomar el teleski.
Teleski. Remember, Q only ever says the k sound. It never says qua. So, quieres and teleski.
What's teleski?
Same thing as telesilla.
Oh, okay. So is it you should buy it if you want to take the chair or the ski lift?
Ski lift, chairlift, igual. It's the same. Yeah, sí, perfecto.
So would it be boleto?
El boleto, sí. Or el ticket, either way. Okay. ¿Y 8, Adi?
Los lleva una persona que patina. What does patina mean?
Patinar is to skate.
Shoot, how do you say ice skate? How do you say ice skate again? I forget.
Patinar. To ice skate is patinar sobre el hielo. But
Or like skates, I mean. Sorry.
so patines. El patín, singular. Los patines, plural.
Los patines then.
Okay, so los patines. So did you guys do, you guys did the, I suppose it's just a lot of vocabulary too. I know that Quizlet helps a lot, but I guess I can't expect you to remember everything, right? So, I know I don't. Like I said, it takes time to remember all the things. You have to use them enough to. Okay, so let's look at página 248. Have you guys read this, and let me just check to make sure nobody else has joined us. No. And I'll have Fernando and Teresa. You still with us, Sydney?
Yeah.
Okay. So you vi Nando and Teresa. Un día en la playa.
Okay. ¿Fuiste a la playa ayer?
Sí, fui con Naida. Pasamos una tarde agradable. Naida nadó mucho y yo tomé el sol.
Yo tomé.
Yo
Tomé.
tomé.
¿Escuaron en el agua?
Esquiaron. Esquiaron.
No, yo tomé.
Tomé.
Tomé. Mi plancha de Belén, pero no la usé.
No la wait. Usaste.
Usaste. Usaste.
Usaste.
No, you're putting an extra T in there. Usaste.
Usaste.
Muy bien.
Okay.
She says, why? No lo usaste? ¿Por qué?
Poco viento.
Ah, verdad. Si no hay mucho viento, no puedes practicar la plancha de Bella.
Vela.
No vale.
No vale. No vale.
Quizás mañana.
Debes ir a Rincón.
Allí.
Ahí las horas son más grandes y hay más viento.
Okay. So Hay, Sydney, is I. I. The Y, you're kind of dropping off the Y there. Okay. So what's going on here? What did Teresa do yesterday? Did Teresa swim yesterday? No, I can't see anywhere that
So yeah.
yeah. Naida swam, right? Naida nadó mucho. But why had Teresa gone? Teresa, why did Teresa go to the beach? What had she wanted to do? She said, no, yo tomé mi plancha de vela, pero no la usé. ¿Plancha de vela? ¿Qué es?
Is it windsurf?
I took my windsurfing board or whatever they call it, right? But did she use it?
Did she?
Pero no la usé. Pero no la usé. No,
Oh yeah.
yeah, but she did not use it, right? La being it. Okay, and ¿por qué? ¿Por qué no la usó? I need to change it. ¿Por qué no la usó? Why did she not use it? ¿Por qué no la usó?
Because
The waves were really big and cold.
So she says, poco viento. Poco viento. What's viento? If I say hace mucho viento, ayer hacía mucho viento. So there was not much wind, right? So you got to have, necesitas viento para una plancha de vela, ¿sí? Es importante, el viento es muy importante.
Yeah.
So there wasn't enough wind, poco viento. And so what did he suggest to her? She says, quizás mañana, perhaps tomorrow. Remember we learned quizás is perhaps. Quizás mañana, perhaps tomorrow. And then his last line, he suggests for her to go where? Debes ir a Rincón.
Rincón. What is Rincón?
Yeah.
es una playa. Es una playa. Es una playa diferente. It's a different beach. And why does he suggest for her to go there? Allí las olas son más grandes y hay más viento.
Big waves and lots of wind.
Uh-huh. So the waves are bigger and there's more wind. Okay? So más grandes, bigger. Did we learn that already? How to say bigger? So if you just add más to any of the adjectives, and then that's bigger. Okay, so if I say mi caballo es grande, my horse is big, and then my friend says mi caballo es más grande, my horse is bigger. I don't know, just a random example. Sorry about that. Or if I say you're splitting a candy bar, right? I don't know if you ever did that. My sister and I, we'd always have to split something or share it. And so, of course, I was never generous. I always took the bigger half. I'm no lion. Now I give away the bigger half, but when I was young, no doing that. So I'd say, she'd always accuse me. El tuyo es más grande, el tuyo es más grande. And I'd always say, no, it's not, you know how kids are. That was a long time. That was like another life ago. That was so long ago. Okay. So he knows where to go. He says, Rincón, allí is over there. Allí. Okay. Let's look at página 250. 250. And we'll take turns reading back and forth. Sydney, you back with us?
Yeah.
Okay, perfecto. Okay, so you, Addie, go ahead and read the first. Just take turns going back and forth with the paragraphs. So Addie, you'll read 1 and 3, and Sydney, you'll read 2 and 4.
Okay. Wait, just the paragraphs or the sentences?
Paragraphs. Yeah, paragraphs.
Okay. La playa de Estepona.
Muy bien.
El otro día, Juan Carlos y un grupo de sus amigos del colegio fueron a Estepona, donde pasaron el día entero en la playa.
Entero.
Estepona tiene muchos balnearios y cuando el día está muy claro, es posible ver la costa de África.
Okay, so we'll stop there and we'll talk about it each. Okay. So, ¿dónde está Estepona? ¿Dónde está Estepona?
It's in Africa.
Where?
No in Africa. So you can see Africa.
What?
It says, cuando el día está muy claro, when the day is very clear, es posible ver, it's possible to see la costa.
Oh,
La Costa del. So where does that put Estepona at? Where does it have to be? If you can see Africa from,
it must be in Spain, right?
yeah, in España. And in what part of Spain? The south of Spain. If you look at SH38, look at Spain, and you'll see where Estepona is. And it's almost down at that one. And so I was there. I was even closer. I was at Gibraltar,
Wow.
which is, do you see where Gibraltar is? You see Estepona down at the south of Spain? Did you guys turn to page SH38? You see where Estepona is, and Gibraltar is even further down, closer. So, Gibraltar has RU by it. What is that? Obviously, it obviously means that it doesn't belong to Spain. It belongs to El Reino Unido, the United Kingdom. So Gibraltar is this itty bitty little tiny, I think less than a square mile of a place, and it's a British colony, and you can see Africa very clearly from Gibraltar. Um, it's very interesting. So in Spain, you have lots of immigrants from Marruecos, which is Morocco. I don't know what Argelia is. Okay. So it's muy interesante. Okay, continuamos.
Ok. Los amigos lo pasaron muy bien en la playa.
Sydney.
Oh.
Okay. Los amigos lo pasaron muy bien en la playa. Conversaron de,
Conversaron.
de muchas cosas. Nadaron y tomaron el sol. Sandra y Felipe alquilaron
Alquilaron.
un barquito y esquiaron en el agua. Y Tomás practicó la plancha de vela.
Vela. La plancha de vela. So Tomas obviously had a little bit more luck than Teresa did with his plancha de vela. So he was able to okay. So what did Sandra and Felipe do?
Rented a boat
Yeah, in order to
to ski.
yeah. So nadaron y tomaron el sol. So Sandra and Felipe, they specifically rented a boat. This is Los Amigos, all of them. Because remember, this is Juan Carlos y un grupo de amigos. Juan Carlos and a group. So Sandra and Felipe, they rented a boat for water skiing. And Thomas, he went in. Okay. Adi, continúa.
A eso de las 3:30 todos fueron a un chiringuito, un restaurante pequeño, al aire libre en la playa. Como están en la costa, tienen que comer pescado y mariscos. Mariscos. Todos picaron de varios platos, gambas al ajillo, arroz con camarones, calamares y una tortilla a la española. La tortilla fue para Maripaz porque a ella no le gustan los mariscos ni el pescado.
Ni, what is ni there? Ni is nor, N-O-R, nor. And so it says she ordered una tortilla a la española. Okay, that is not a tortilla. So tortillas are a Mexican thing. They are not Spanish. Okay, so when you go to Spain, you're not going to get un burrito, or you're not going to get a tortilla of any kind. Porque it's not a Spanish thing. It's a Mexican thing. Even in a lot of the South American countries, not all of them are. Many of them, the tortilla is not a main staple like it is in Mexico. So tortilla is pretty Mexican. Not that other countries don't have it. So what does that tell us about the tortilla? What's the origin of the tortilla? If it didn't come from Spain, where did it come from?
Mexico.
Okay, but who specifically? What group of people? What kind of? Had to have been the indigenous people, right? The native peoples of Mexico that made. They ground corn. Corn was a big thing. Corn. I don't know that they had corn in Europe. Corn was an American thing. Was a North American thing. So not American, not as in, from the United States, but as in North America. Corn was a thing in Mexico. It was a big thing in Mexico. So tortillas originated with so when we say una tortilla a la española, it's an egg dish. It's kind of like an omelet.
Oh yeah, it was like that one with egg and like potatoes and ham and stuff, right?
We read in another reading, didn't we? I think when we were doing the food chapter.
Mhm.
Sí, sí. Es una tortilla a la española. So this one's food. Chiringuito. ¿Qué es un chiringuito? Un chiringuito, un restaurante pequeño al aire libre en la playa. So it's one of those little open air restaurants. In Spain, you're okay to eat from them. In any other country, I might be a little concerned. Any other Spanish speaking country I'm talking about. So in South America, you really have to watch out for the little outpost. If it looks like a full-fledged restaurant, then you're probably okay. But like street vendors and stuff, they say do not, do not, do not. Because our stomachs, we're just not accustomed to the same kind of critters. I don't mean critters like bugs, but bacteria, different things. Yeah, our intestines just will it will wreak havoc. So you just have to be careful. But in Spain, you're okay. They have fairly high food health standards. So you're okay to eat those little open air little things in Spain. Okay, so what does it say? Como están en la costa, tienen que comer pescado y mariscos. Meaning that, or since they are in the la costa, what's costa?
The coast?
Yeah. Seeing that they're on the coast, they have to eat fish and shellfish, mariscos. I mean, that's what you do, right? When you go to San Francisco, what do you have to eat when you go to San Francisco? Chowder and
Oh yeah, clam chowder.
clam chowder. You go to Pier 39, everybody gets a clam chowder bowl or they get some kind of fish. That's a big thing all throughout Pier 39. Everybody sells some kind of, all kinds of fish. Okay. And then, who was number 4? That was you, Sid?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. So, okay. Is it at Tarfia?
Tarifa.
Durante el almuerzo habló Fernando. Les habló a sus amigos de su día en Tarfia. Tarfia, no,
Tarifa.
Tarifa.
Ajá.
Okay. No está muy lejos de Espona. En Tarifa, en Mediterráneo.
El
Mediterráneo entra en el Atlántico. Is it? What is it?
like your eye. Like your
Eye. Okay. Hay mucho viento y el mar está casi siempre bravo. Las olas son muy grandes y por consecuencia, Tarifa es un paraíso para los aficionados a la plancha de vela.
Muy bien. Paraíso. You said that perfecto. Es un paraíso, paradise. Es un bravo. So bravo, you think bravo is would be like brave or something, but I guess you'd have to be brave if you go out on those waves, but it's rough. Bravo. So when talking about the water. So hay mucho viento y el mar está casi siempre, almost always, casi siempre bravo, almost always rough. So someplace you don't want to go if you're trying to water ski, pero es perfecto para plancha de vela. Es perfecto para plancha de vela. Okay, so Tarifa, let's see if we can see on SH 38, Tarifa. So it must be in the same area, Tarifa. I guess I could spell it out here. So Tarifa is right down there in that same near. That may actually be the name. Durante el almuerzo habló Fernando. Okay, so Tarifa, this was a separate trip. This is not where they are right now. Because Fernando is just talking about his trip to Tarifa. He was just telling them about his vacation he took, right? Because it's durante el almuerzo, during the lunch, habló Fernando talked. Les habló, he talked to them. Les habló, he talked to them being an indirect object pronoun, right? A sus amigos de su día en Tarifa, about his day in Tarifa, okay? So obviously a perfect place for, it says, Tarifa es un paraíso para los aficionados a la plancha de vela. It's a paradise for the fans of windsurfing. Okay. So if you look at on the other page, ¿qué hace? What's this guy doing? Hace esquía en el agua, ¿sí? This town, so it says, el joven esquió en el agua en Puerto Banús, Marbella, España. Marbella, beautiful sea. It's like the richest town on the coast of Spain. We went there. And there's just all kinds of yates. Muchos yates parked right there. I mean, it was just incredibly gorgeous. You see the houses back there. That's the whole town looks like that. It's just incredibly beautiful and expensive. I mean, you got Rolls Royces and everything rolling down the street. You felt like you stepped into a different world because it wasn't like the rest of the country. It was like the it would be kind of like a Beverly Hills kind of area, very ritzy, lots of money. It was our anniversary trip, so we actually ate our dinner there, and it's the things you remember. They had this really good dipping sauce. It was I think an Italian restaurant, but they had this really good dipping sauce, and we had this bread or something. And we kept asking for more of the sauce, but little did we know that each little tiny thing of sauce they charged us $5 for.
Oh no.
It's just that kind of a place because people don't care. They didn't tell us it was going to cost. Most of the time you go to a restaurant, they say, okay, well, it's going to cost you $5. It's going to cost you $5. And they'll tell you. But I mean, this was in the ritzy area of town, so they think people don't care. People have money. So, but it was an incredibly gorgeous place. You felt like, I definitely felt like I didn't belong, but I didn't. I wasn't highfalutin enough. I didn't quite belong. So. But muy bonita, muy bonita. Okay, I will get the homework listed here in the next 10-15 minutes, and that will be it. We will talk to you hasta martes, ¿sí?
Hasta martes.
Muchas gracias por venir. Thank you for coming. Muchas gracias por venir. Adiós.
Adios.
Adiós.